all you video gamers. Welcome to yet another plate-standing, chest-kicking, batteries not included edition of the DJ Smokey's True Videogame Stories. And with a title like that, we decided to go with the game none other than Karate Fighters. Or as the commercial said back in the 90s, Karate Fighters! And the sad part about all that is, folks, I've only seen that commercial once. But before I go on a bit of a nostalgia trip from a game I had during my childhood, I think it's time for us to get ready to put the fighters in standing position, get some fresh AA batteries, and get prepared to try to kick the chest and launch our opponents off the battleground as we get ready to paint the picture. Alright, this video game story began approximately 23 years ago, one fateful Christmas morning when my dad would surprise me and my brother with this game. And not to mention, I do believe the year prior would have a prototype version of this game that didn't come with the cool sound effects that this game would. And the fighters that we would get for this said game when we open up that Christmas present would be a rematch from last year's Christmas, where we would get the fighters known as Headstone and Ninja Dorado. And I, of course, who was a big Frankenstein fan back in the day, would go with Headstone while my brother would go with Ninja Dorado to pick up where we left off from last Christmas. Now, granted, we did it after we opened all the Christmas gifts, but right at that one initial moment, I was out for revenge. Because for those who didn't know, my brother with Ninja Dorado last year on Christmas was able to beat me out by at least a couple of points. But we didn't have any point systems for it because there wasn't the little dial on the top to tell us who won or who lost. But for this 2.0 version of the game, it goes up to 5 rounds and let us know who was the best ninja karate fighter out in the world. And while we just immediately cleared the dining room table or the coffee table that was in the living room, we just went to battle right there while my cousins and my grandma, along with my dad, would sit along and watch us play this game. And unlike the game from last year, folks, this one would actually have cool sound effects to go along with it. And every time we would try to kick each other off that podium stand, we would hear funny sound effects along the lines of, "Woo-ya, woo-ya, woo-ya, wah, wah, woo-ya." But unfortunately for me, for the first round of this game, my brother would knock my Frankenstein character off with this nasty-looking back kick and would just knock the character in the chest for it to go flying off and make that cool sound effect of wah! As it would fly off the table and I would feel defeated after losing one round, only for my dad and I do believe my cousin to cheer me on to try to get back into the mix, only for me to just go back, try to do the same move he did for our legs to get stuck in mid-combat, and for my brother to switch back around and do some crazy reverse roundhouse, kick me in the chest, and knock it off again. And I said, are you kidding me? I'm sitting here wondering, how in the world is he able to beat me like this? He just got it out of the box. And after a 3-0 lead by my brother using that reverse roundhouse technique, I would slowly but surely learn how in the world he was able to pull it off by switching the knob real quick and causing the character to actually, have a dead kick towards my character, only for me to get the upper hand and actually block that kick him in the chest, and take his character out. And after an hour of playing this game and with us at a dead heat at 4 apiece, with only 1 round left to go, I gave my brother that look of, yeah, I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna get my revenge for what happened last Christmas. and I had a glow in me of a smile on my face as I realized I blocked all of my brother's best moves as my family members would cheer on while all of this was going on. For my brother to just magically pull out some weird move where he would do this hurricane kick, which caused him to spin the dial a little bit faster than most and helicopter my character by kicking him in the head so hard the headpiece would go backwards, my arm would go down, and then he would just kick me in the chest for my character to have its head backwards, its arm on its back, and then just knock my character off the table and for it to make one final scream of defeat of, "Wah!" for him to just knock off the table and for my spirit to be broken at that one moment as my brother would beat me 5-4 in this game of Karate Fighters. And after bugging my brother day in and day out for a proper rematch, he would finally answer the call about 5 days later, just before New Year's, as we would try to have a one-match sudden death rematch, where my brother would try to do that hurricane kick again that sent my character through a loop, only for me to just somehow actually kick him in the chest while he was doing that spin kick move we mentioned prior, and just stop his foot, move back around and use the same move he used on me, that back roundhouse, to beat him, knock his character off, and defeat him in a sudden death pre-New Year's Eve rematch for me to just celebrate throughout the entire house that I was the champion of Karate Fighters. And I guess with that said, folks, wraps it up for another plate-standing, chest-kicking, batteries not included, sound effects-filled edition of the DJ Smokey's True Video Game Stories. And with that, we'll be back with more right after this. So stay tuned.